Welcome to my channel Real Life Wonders. Everyone thought the quiet woman in the faded field jacket was just another visitor on base until the colonel laughed loud enough for everyone to hear. He didn't know the truth yet. Booth was seconds away from humiliating himself in front of the entire yard. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you rewatching from. I love knowing who's listening. The afternoon sun hung bright above Fort Hen, washing everything in a sharp, unforgiving light. Soldiers crossed the yard in quick patterns, their shadows short and crisp. And there, near the motor pool office, stood Colonel Briggs, tall, loud, and too sure of himself, scoffing at the woman holding a trembling paper cup of coffee. Dust swirled around her boots, drifting across the concrete like smoke. Hen edged one of his officers and smirked. Look at her jacket. Looks like she dug it out of a surplus bin. A few nearby soldiers shifted uncomfortably. The woman, the one he mocked, didn't flinch. She simply tightened her fingers around the cup. Something in the day suddenly felt different, like the air itself was waiting. Her name was Lena Ward, and though she looked like a civilian passing through, she wasn't. She had tried to keep to herself. She had hoped this visit would be quick, private, but the colonel's voice kept rising, daring the world to watch. Briggs said, drawing out the word with false politeness. This area is for active personnel. You might want to move along. Lena met his eyes. Calm, steady. The kind of steady that comes from years off command, years of loss, years off watching people underestimate her again and again. She thought she'd never see men like him again. She was wrong. A soft breeze rolled across the yard, stirring flags and catching the attention of soldiers who began drifting closer, some pretending to check vehicles, others openly curious. A ripple of murmurs spread. Lena inhaled slowly, feeling memories press at the edges of her chest. She had spent a decade trying to live quietly, away from salutes, away from war zone noise echoing in her bones. But now, under the bright daylight, she realized there were moments in life you couldn't walk away from. Moments where silence became a kind of betrayal. Colonel Briggs, she said softly. Is that how you speak to every officer who doesn't look the way you expect? He barked a laugh. Officer, lady with that jacket, you're lucky security didn't escort you out. Another officer tried to signal him subtly. Sir, maybe don't. Briggs waved him off. Then the motor pool door swung open. A group of soldiers stepped out in perfect formation. Their boots hitting the concrete in a unified beat. The yard fell quiet, tension crawling across it like heat. They halted directly in front of the woman. Every soldier snapped to attention. Every gaze locked on her. Briggs paused. The lead sergeant raised his voice. So, everyone, every mechanic, every passerby, every officer heard it. Good afternoon, General Ward. The air did just shift, it exploded. The murmurs turned to stunned silence. A pair of privates actually dropped the tools they were carrying. Lena didn't gloat. She didn't smile. She simply looked at Briggs. The man who mocked her, dismissed her, talked down to her because he believed rank lived on a sleeve and authority on a voice. A colonel, she said, respect isn't given because of position. It's given because of character, something every leader, every real leader must learn. Briggs swallowed hard, his face turning a slow, painful red as the soldiers around him stared. The weight of the moment pressed into him heavier than any reprimand could. She stepped forward, the soldiers parting around her like a tide. The sun lit her face, revealing the kind of quiet strength that could not be learned from books or barked commands. An ash passed him, she added gently but firmly, do better for the people who look up to you. They deserve that. Lena walked across the yard, her steps slow and measured. The bright afternoon catching on her jacket, no longer faded, no longer misjudged, but recognized for what it truly represented. Because kindness doesn't vanish, it waits and it finds its way back. And sometimes it returns under the bright sun in the form of a lesson no one forgets. If you felt something in this story, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more heartfelt, powerful stories like this.